Hello there. Today I'm going to show you a guide how to destroy Russian tanks because they're pretty hard to destroy with certain tanks. And I'm going to be focusing on one specific shell because it's a good shell, but genuinely speaking, the pen is very terrifyingly bad. I'm talking about the M61 shot on the M4s. It's pretty much from 4.0 down to 3.3, I think. And the M24 has this shell as well, I think. It's the shell that's even on the T-14, which is the 75mm M61 shot. Here, this one. 104mm at best scenario. Your 10 meters, 0 angles, 104mm pen. Um, Now, you might think this is extremely hard to kill, okay? You know, unfair tank, OP, sure, it's pretty hard to kill. It's not the easiest, but when you compare it to trying to kill T-34s or KVs with this thing, it's nothing, because you have to hit such a small spot, while here, all you need to hit is the entire turret, pretty much. This is also a guide how to destroy the T-14, I guess. Then there's the machine gun hole. I have it covered because it's a huge soft spot. The entire machine gun hole here is pretty easy to pen because it's flat and only 50 millimeters is really nothing. It's pretty easy to pen, and then for some reason, pretty often when you go from the side, this part seems to be penetrable. I wouldn't rely on it in game, but when I was testing protection analysis with the Russian tanks, this entire line was just penetrable, so no idea why. Maybe just some glitch or something, I don't know. Wouldn't rely on it. I would go for the machine gun hole or this entire part of the turret, which is pretty large. It's actually not that small. And I'm not sure you may be able to even pen this, so yeah, I haven't tried that and I haven't seen it happen to me yet, but it can work. And yeah, also the T-14 has the third camo, which is pretty sick. Okay, let's start with the T-34s, then I'm gonna move on to KVs. Now, at 4.7 you can get up tiered, which makes it extremely unfair because some of the tanks are genuinely impenetrable. So first, I'm gonna start with the T50 because it's a low rank, and as someone with like, let's say you have even worse shells than the M4, and you meet a T50 and you don't know what to do, it's not that crazy hard. You just need to shoot this part. If you have APHE, you're gonna do decent. If you have solid shot, that's a different story. I never tried to shoot this part with solid shot, but sure, maybe some shrapnel could hit down into the personnel here, but this part, very soft, very easy to hit, is very large, and I would definitely shoot that part. That's the first thing if you can't pen anything else on the T50. Then, D34s. Let's start. Let's start with the 1940 version. Quick speedrun, okay. Turret. The entire turret is penetrable. Easy. Just hit here, anywhere here, and it should pretty much pen. This is probably the easiest T-34 to kill from the front like this, or an angle. Just hit the turret here, okay, and you should be able to kill it. Next, the T-34 1941. The 1941 one is pretty much the same story. If you don't trust yourself with hitting this, there's the entire humongous gun breach just here, so sometimes I hit this and it pens, sometimes it doesn't for some reason. It's only 45 millimeters, so you should be able to pen it and destroy the breach, which means they can't shoot you back, which means that's nice. That means you survive, and then you can try and hit the slightly smaller part of the turret. This is a pretty easy one to kill as well. These are my favorite T-34s to play against because they're not crazy. Then there's this one. I also like playing against this one. Now this one's a bit harder and a bit easier at the same time. Now, you could shoot theoretically anywhere on the turret, but I would never rely on that because this game, again, gun breach possibility, but I recommend turret ring or the little sharp edges here because it's really not that not that big not that big of a plate. It's 53 millimeters and it's flat pretty much. it at a very slight angle here, which means you can shoot this and pen it pretty easily. Harder to do at distance though, so be careful. Then there is the STZ. Now the STZ is a bit trickier. I genuinely don't meet this tank too much for some reason, but it's pretty much the same thing. Okay, breach, then there's this part of the turret. I shoot that usually. I don't know much about this tank, like I said, I don't see it pretty much ever, which is weird, but you do you. I guess if you don't want to play that, don't play it. This one, you're about to meet this one. Again, turret, same thing. I like these T-34s because they're really easy to pen. They're not that overpowered. Well, not that any are crazy overpowered, but when you get up tiered, you can't pen certain T-34s. This one, I hate the face with the T-14 or the M4s that have the 104 millimeters of pen at best. It's hard to pen, very hard to pen. You have to hit the turret ring, genuinely. Just you have to. I never tried shooting this, but I wouldn't rely on it, you know. I just go for the turret ring. Maybe you could go for this. I don't know, I'll just go for the turret ring because it's huge, it's really big, and it's not the hardest thing to hit. Now, KVs. KV1, this is a easy story. It's pretty much same like with one of the T-34s, just the flat part is penetrable and that's pretty much it. I never really shoot much here at the machine gun holes because this game hates shooting machine guns. If I shoot a machine gun, the shell disappears. Like, I don't know why, but okay, sure. It's 45 millimeters, so if you can shoot that and you trust the game, go for it. But I just go for the flat parts because I know it's gonna at least take out the turret, which is really nice. Then there's the KV2. Now the KV2 is one of my favorite tanks. I love this goofy little tank. It's so huge, it's so funny, and I don't know, I just play this tank. If you have it, just play it. I know it's not the best, but yeah, just play it. How to kill it. Again, everything flat you see here is a soft spot. This part as well. I wouldn't rely shooting these plates. For some reason, they bounce most of the time. For me, at least. Maybe for you it works. If it works for you, good for you. Okay. I shoot the turret because I just want to take him out. I want to take the turret out so I don't get shot by it. That thing can kill anything. I have not seen it fail. Now we're getting into dangerous territory, and that's the KV-1S. Now this is just depressing because it's so hard to penetrate. It is. It bounces my shells pretty much every time. You could try go for these parts. I don't know. Never tried. Very small area, so yeah, I don't trust it. I usually go for this area, just the hatch here and the machine gun. I usually go for the hatch. Usually works for me, but I'm not guaranteeing it. I'm not guaranteeing it will work for you. Just, you know, try your best. KV1 is this. Okay. Uh, this one, again, soft spots pretty much everywhere. Also this part. This part because it's only 75 millimeters. However, this one has extra 25 millimeters, so machine gun, hatch, or pretty much anything here, you know, any of the flat parts, not these. These bounce pretty much every time. Not sure because I haven't tried shooting the part much, but you know, just don't shoot it. This one, I hate to face it, but when you are faced with KV-85, try to get it to look at you so you can like directly like this. You don't want to have it angled. At an angle it's harder to kill or pretty much impossible, but if you have it straight up, like straight against you like this, just shoot anywhere here. I usually go for this part because it's easy to spot. It's easy to know like that's the part that will definitely pen, and it's in the middle. It's, you know, pretty much damage will be way higher. Never try to shoot the hatch up here, but I mean, if you trust your aim, I guess maybe it could pen, but again, this is just softer, easier, flat. Go for it, you know. IS-1, okay, we're getting into my, this makes me want to cry. Every time I see this thing, I know I'm dead. You cannot pen the hatch, you cannot pen this, you can't pen anything. This is unkillable. You can't kill this with the shell I'm talking about. Now let me show you that I'm not joking here. You can shoot this and maybe hope that it will do something, but genuinely speaking, you can get up here to see this thing, and you just cannot penetrate it. Now, you may be confused why I'm yeah, here, this part. Wow, nice, there we go. You may be confused why I'm talking about the M61 when it has 104 when you have the T-35. Now, you can use this. It doesn't do much better. It can pen the IS, but who ever used APCR? Come on. It is the most useless shell in this game. I swear, you hit something, well, not the most, but you hit something and see the damage, it's just not there. Straight up, the damage just doesn't exist. So, I wouldn't ever rely on APCR. It's very, very bad. It doesn't do anything, ever. Now, a quick subcategory, and that's the SU. The SU I see pretty often. I am I am usually freaking out when I see this thing, but usually I just shoot any of these parts. This part's pretty flat, it usually pans. This part is just 20 millimeters apparently, never tried to shoot that much. I just shoot at this thing and it dies. I genuinely don't know where to shoot. I would tell you, but I don't see this thing too often since it's at 2.3 and I usually play at 4.7 and I usually get up tiered as well, which makes me wanna cry every time. This thing I usually shoot down here. It's way flatter, not here because there's armor under it, but here. It's way flatter and way easier to penetrate. Now, I'm not sure if it will show that it's possible. Yeah, it will. And that's usually a one-shot kill because yeah, it's just a one-shot kill 99% of the time. Go for that or maybe that part if you trust yourself with hitting this, but this part's way larger, so I would go for that. I don't know, you do you. Then there's the other version. I don't know. I haven't seen this thing much. It has tracks and 90 millimeters down here, so yeah. The thing is, I haven't seen this much since you don't have to research it, right? It's the second version. But I, I guess I would go for these parts again. Barrel, track, and run away. Whatever works for you. These things are scary. Just whatever you figure out, track it, run away, because these are pretty much unpenetrable. This one, we're getting into territory where you can pen the main plate most of the times. Let me actually test that because I'm not sure on this one. I have not seen this one, I'm pretty sure. I have not seen this one like ever, but yeah. Like I'm saying, anywhere lower, it will most likely pen. The higher parts are more at an angle, but you can see even through the track extra armor, it can kind of pen sometimes. I usually go for the lower parts here. They're pretty easy to pen and they're usually a one shot. Not here. Oh wait, sorry, I have the T-34. Okay, there. There. I usually go for that part. It usually works the best for me, but whatever works for you. Play around with it. This thing's pretty easy to kill, so don't freak out when you see it. The 85M is a different story. This is a horror game. You see this thing and you're screwed 99% of the time if you don't hit some good part on the tank that pens, which is like small parts of the turret, and like that's pretty much it. The hatch, it's pretty big, so I guess go for that, but really it's hard to kill this thing. Anywhere around the barrel works as well. very scary tank to see with a T-14 or M4, whatever you're using. Then there's the ISU. No, this thing's just, I think this is pretty much the same story as the IS one. It's very, very hard to pen, or next to impossible. It doesn't even have a hatch, which is just awesome. I guess usually when I see these, I don't necessarily try, because it's pointless. I track it and I run as fast as I can and hope it doesn't turn to me, because it can still turn. 5.7, now this is the highest I've seen. I've seen this thing with the T-14, and I think I have not seen a higher. Again, same story, track it and run away, or barrel it and run away. Just get out of there. You do not want to face this thing. And that should be pretty much it. It's very annoying at times when people say the T-14 is extremely overpowered, and then you face the IS-1 and, you can't do anything. But really, it's about where you get at what time in the game with the T-14. If you get a good spot, it it can be pretty much overpowered. It's hard to penetrate it. I'm not saying it's not a good tank. It's just that it's not the best, and there's way more overpowered tanks in this game that don't get as much attention because the T-14 has been spoken about so much. And I think 4.7 is a very fitting BR for it. I would keep it at 4.7 personally. But if someone feels like it should go higher, I think the IS-1 is a perfect example why it shouldn't go higher. But yeah, if you don't believe me, try it for yourself. I don't know, grab an M4 and up tier yourself on purpose, and then try to pen IS. You're gonna suffer. It's annoying. And yeah, then there's the 4.7. I usually when I get up tiered and even down tier, I do better with this tank than this tank. So I think that also proves something, the fact that this tank does so much better. And I think that's because of the great shell it has. It has 150 at best, which is really nice. It has good damage. This tank is, in my opinion, perfect. It's great for 4.7, and yeah, I feel like I do better with this than this, which says something about this big ass premium. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I covered all of the Russian tanks. If you want me to cover anything else, I'll do my math homework on the tanks and I'll report it to you on video, because this game makes me want to cry pretty often. So yeah, let me know if any tanks, scare you and you don't know what to do with them. Don't make suggestions have like IS-1 level type impenetrable tanks, because I'm not gonna be looking for penetrable parts on tanks you can't pen. That will ruin my life. So yeah, actually, real quick, I'm gonna go over the T-34s in the German tech tree, the premium ones, because I see these very often. This one's just huge turret ring in all these flat spots. I don't see this too often, but it's penetrable. But the problem is with the KW. Now this one's scary. This is the KV, but it's KW. I would go for the hatch, and I usually go for either this part or the flat spots on the turret. Whatever works for you, good for you. You do you. Whatever just works, okay? This game, that's how this game works. Whatever works in game for you, good, good. Go for it and take it with pride. Then there's the KW2, but I don't think I have to go over that. I think you understand it's the same as the KV. You can just pen wherever on the turret. The flat spots, yeah, those are pretty easy to pen. I could go over premium T-34s in the Russian tech tree, but they're the same as the T-34s here, at least one of the versions. There's one, I'm pretty sure, that has like extra armor on it, but I think you could still pen easily. So yeah, now go ahead, go into battle and destroy these T-34s. Come on, do it for me. Come on, come on. You know how to do it now. You know exactly how to do it. So go do that. Or destroy T-14s, because I also told you how you can do that pretty easily. Okay, pen the turret. They're screwed. It's not hard to pen this part. You can pretty much aim. If you're not sure how far they are and you're like, oh, I don't know, about 400 meters, put the 400 meters mark in the middle of this, and if it's higher it will probably still hit, and if it's lower it will probably still hit. So it's not that crazy hard. However, with the T-34s I find myself having to hit very small parts of the T-34. However, I think it's fair. I think it's genuinely fair, because my entire tank, if I angle it like this part's pretty much impenetrable. Besides the machine gun hole I covered with this pay to win method. uh, Jesus, this thing's kind of overpowered on the T-14. All you need is one bush to cover the machine gun hole a little, and you're pretty much good to go. So yeah, that's been it. I hope this helped you. If you have any recommendations, like I said, leave them down in the comments. And, let me know what you think about this tank and the T-34s, and if you think this tank should go higher or lower. I respect any opinion. I genuinely do not care much about, like, this tank, because I played very little. I usually play it when I get a heavy tank, 35 kills with heavy tank in special task. I just grab it and go get 35 kills, because it's not the hardest thing ever. But, good luck. Go out there and enjoy the game, okay? Don't be toxic, be nice to people. It's a game, okay? Just enjoy it in the moment. Just enjoy it and then go back to a depressing life if you have a depressing life. I hope you don't have a depressing life, but if you have to go back into a depressing life, enjoy the game at least, like me. I enjoy this game a lot. I'm kidding. I cry a lot. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm double joking, okay? I don't know what you thought. If you think I cry over a game, nah, never. Okay, maybe sometimes. Yeah, just fear the IS-1, and that's all I can say. Fear the IS-1 and hope you don't see it. Okay, that's been it. I'm signing out here. Enjoy your day. Hope you're having an amazing day. Here's the epic guide to destroying Russian bias, also known as the guide to insanity, because that's pretty hard. I'm joking. There's no Russian bias in this game. At least I don't think so. But you know, yeah. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your day. Have a great day, and see you next time with another guide where I'm going to show you how to go insane the second time. Sounds good. Bye.